wanders through the Lake District, bagging Wainwrights and outlying fells. With his trusty IBs, a cap, and rugged good looks, his name is Dave Ostor, the Mountain Man. He wanders through the Lake District, bagging Wainwrights and outlying fells. With his trusty IBs, a cap, and rugged good looks, his name is Dave Ostor, the Mountain Man.
Welcome back to another video, and today we're just going to do a bit of a classic of the Central Fells. I think some of the most unloved fells in the Lake District, although they're very accessible, very close to Keswick. We are just parked up at the foot of the Watendlath Road, free lay-by, just before Ashness Bridge. And where are we going first? Up to Walla Crag through the forestry track. This is actually a new path for me before we pick up a couple of singes of Pike and Dodd Crag. We're heading over to the second Wainwright of Bleaberry Fell, and its adjacent top, the southeast top, which is a singe I need, before heading over to High Seat. Notoriously boggy, this area. So I think that's part of the reason it's a little unloved. But yeah, pleasant little morning on a Saturday. Right, so as well as picking up 3 new singe fells and 3 new Wainwrights for my round 2, this is also a bit of a recce mission. I do plan to do the Keswick 3 Peaks. This is one of the fells, along with Catbells and Latrig, where you do a high level loop of dirt water. It's a long one, it's about 18 miles. But yeah, I've never used this path before, and I think this is the path I would use once I've broken off from dirt water to get up to Walla Crag in the quickest possible way. I've seen on other people's videos that it can be notoriously slippy. I know the last section to the summit is fairly tricky, but no, from here it's pretty comfortable. Nice woodland walk. Well, so far so good. This is a lovely solid path, much better than I was anticipating. And it's I think the first video I've done solo since my Easdale 11 video a couple of months back there, so I've kind of forgot how to make one. It's easier when you're with other people. I do prefer that now, walking with people, because you don't have to think of too much to say. You can just point the camera at them and use them as content. But anyway, yeah, a solo walk today. Incidentally, the Fell Nomads, Dave, Derek, Mary and Paul, did this walk yesterday while I was at work. I was bombed off. I was crying most of the day, so yeah, cheers. But anyway, I'm glad they've got them done. They didn't go to the singes anyway, so I'd have been gutted. It's not just a little harder filming solo, it's also doing the walk solo is much harder as well. There's nobody to stop and yab with, you know. Mary normally gives it that. It distracts me from the actual exercise I'm doing, so I'm a bit out of fitness for solo walking. But I do urge you to find somebody, find a group to walk with that you can rely on, you know. I think I'm not alone when I say I've got a lot of friends, quite popular at school. I was the clown, class clown, but none of them are actually interested in fell walking, let alone walking, you know. So try and get any of them out, even though you do offer to pick them up and take them and show them the way and keep them safe. There's still very little commitment, so you need to find people who are like you, and that's how I've done that. That's probably why I started the YouTube channel, you know, just to find some friends who I can walk with. And yeah, everybody who features on my video I didn't know 4 years ago, and yeah, I'm blessed to have them in my company now and call them friends. So I just find a Facebook group. That's the easiest way, I think, if you don't want to start a YouTube channel. Plenty of them, and everyone's going the same direction, uphill, so tag along together and you'll find it a lot easier getting out. Because if you're doing it solo, your alarm goes off at 5 AM and you're like, I'll hit the snooze button, get out of bed, the day's gone. But if you're committed to meeting somebody, you don't want to disappoint them, so you get up. So if you've got somebody who's waiting for you or relying on you to turn up, you've got to go. And that's why we're going out 2, if not 3 times a week at the moment. It's been a mental summer, but I love it. And I feel like the fitness is improving as we look over to Cat Bells there, and a bit of dirt water. A bit murky, but I'll take it. I think the inversions have gone now. Oh, sorry, I don't know what this fell is. This must be a little subsidiary top there. I've just watched the fella come down. A bit odd. I don't see any paths over there. Just must be forging his own route down. That's the sort of thing me and Dave Allen do, so good on him. He'd be welcome in our group, I think. But yeah, this is just making short work of Walla Crag. It's not a big hill, and not a lot of ascent on the entire walk, to be honest with you. It's 2,500 feet. I'm finding anything less than sort of, yeah, 3,000 feet for a walk now is not much of a challenge, and I breeze round them now, thankfully. They used to be a pain in the arse any ascent, so yeah, planning on being a nice comfortable one today. So we can now see the second Wainwright Fell of the day, Bleaberry Fell, just on the horizon there. These are interesting fells here. These aren't Burketts or Singes. So if you're watching, Tim, come and add that one there for your next book. I know you've just upgraded to 670, but I reckon we'll make it a nice round 700. And that one there looks a cracker, that little knot. That'll be worth adding in your next revision. You can now see why these fells are considered bleak. There's not much vegetation or trees to enjoy, apart from coming up through the forest there. But yeah, it's just a brown vista of bog. Incidentally, the schedule going forward into 2026, I will be finishing, or attempting to finish, all the Burketts, Singes, Nuttalls, Hewitts in the Lake District, all on the same fell of Black Sails in Coniston. And I extend my offer to Tim Singe. I would love you to join me for that last walk. It would be my honour. I'll pay for your petrol and all that. But I would love you to meet a living legend on the final fell to complete my round of 670 as it stands. But yeah, a long way to go till then. Oh, I should probably let him know the final walk will probably be next December 2026 on Black Sails, so aye, keep December clear from your diary, Tim. Oh, and here we are on the first Wainwright Fell of the day of Walla Crag. Boom, just for the second time for me, but yeah, it was a lovely little walk up here. I say these fells are unloved, but this one certainly isn't. It's very popular. A number of ways up, I believe there's one up through down here, but yeah, unfamiliar with it. But anyway, good morning Keswick and Derwent water, and a the northwestern fells. Wonderful. Anyway, second weighing right, like I say, is Bleaberry Fell. I believe over here, there's no path to it that I could plot, is Pike, and then Dodd Crag just here. So there isn't much of a cairn up here, considering how many people visit this and how many people would likely contribute to it over the years. So that's a little disappointing. I feel that could be bigger, and probably over there a little bit. But anyway, if you weren't going to Pike, which is a new singe for me, just over here, and Dodd Crag, you would just retrace yourself back onto the really good path, and that'll gradually take you up to Bleaberry Fell. That's the more traditional way, but I am excited about these next two singes, Pike and Dodd Crag, because as you drive down the A591, the two things you see every single time, and you can't quite pick out what they are. You're trying to work out which weighing right they are, but they're not. They're just well, singes, as I've discovered. So yeah, it'll be interesting to look down on the road I drive so many times from these two vantage points here. Incidentally, for those who care about times and things like that, that was 1.5 miles from that car park, just under an hour. You could probably do that in 40 minutes if you weren't filming a video, I guess. But anyway, I think the best course of action here, I've got it plotted kind of up this wall here, and we'll do a little out and back to Pike. I've just continued walking towards Pike, and here's a reasonable close-up shot of the entire fell. Not a pike in the classic sense of like the pyramid, but it is a bit like the Pike on the outlying weighing rights of at Devoke Water, where it's just a long gradual slope up and then just a sheer drop there. I can see paths up there, I can see horses in the field over yonder there. No, there doesn't seem to be a bridge, and it's a bit of a drop, so I think my advice would be, to keep it safe, would be to just follow the wall line, and that'll take you to the top of the gill and you could swing round. I feel confident enough that I can get down here, and I can see a path on the other side that would get me through to the fell and up to Pike, so I'm going to choose to do the more direct route. Just find a contour that's the least steep and just start picking your way, zigzagging down the fell. Just take it slow. Absolutely no paths here, and the beck looks low enough to get across down there. Right, so we are now down to the beck side. I wouldn't have had the confidence to do things like that 2 years ago, but with all the off-piste routes that we've been doing of late, it's not much of a challenge. However, you do get some funny looks from sheep. Hi, I'm here. I know you don't see folk down here very often, but yeah, just a little 10 metre scramble back up here, and we'll be on our path again. Here we are back on the path. We should find a way through this wall somehow. Here we go, it's a bit more pronounced now. You can see the shape of the Pike itself, and this is looking over to the other Keswick Three Peaks fell of Walla Crag with Skidder behind. I've just come and took some shelter by this wall here because them horses were coming from me. Now, I'm from a horsey family, so they shouldn't really bother me, but they do look pretty wild. That one's giving me the look, so you stay over there. There's just a view back to Walla Crag. Not that far away, but I just need to find a way over this wall onto the summit. Oh. Careful not to damage the wall. Oh. And here we are on our second fell of the day, and a new one for me, Pike, a new singe. We'll take it. Wow. Yeah, there's not many people visit this one. Very little paths. It might even be private land, I'm not sure. But anyway, we can see down onto High Rig and Low Rig just here. Blencathra, the A66 coming to Keswick. Bassenthwaite's made an appearance now with Dodd just next to it. But yeah, this is probably the most interesting feature of Pike. This just little cutout area here. not much to write home about. I kind of was expecting a better view. Aye, so this certainly isn't a dog friendly route. There's not much in terms of accessible styles and things like that. There are low points in walls, but there are also bits of barbed wire here that provide no access. But anyway, there's no paths in this area that I was able to plot, but there's Dodd Crag over there. I'm just gonna follow a direct route towards it. But anyway, yeah, there's Bleaberry Fell. Looks a bit miserable, doesn't it? But it's quite a big fell, and noticeable from all around here. So when you're up on the Dodds up here and Clough Head, or in the northwestern fells, it is a central focal point when you're on those particular fells, and I like it. I think it's an underrated fell. But anyway, Dodd Crag first. I'm just having a break out of this wind for now. But certainly that singe of pike, that's going to be a contender for probably one of the worst ones I've done so far. A little bit demoralising, but yeah, I can see why it's its own fell. It is a peninsula hanging off the end of this ridge, but yeah, I can't say I'll ever be back. There's not much in terms of path. That crag's looking rather oh, I heard a deer. Wow, I didn't know they lived in this area. I don't know if you can make them out. They're just there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 deer. Wow. But anyway, if you walk to this wall here, there is a bit of a groove. Probably a deer track. Little gilt across here. Are deer dangerous? Because they sound quite mad that I'm here, like growling and that. Anyway, that's looking back towards Pike. I can still just about see Walla Crag. Anyway, just up here, still a little bit further. Doesn't see much of a path, but at least it's grass, so I can force my way up there. Right, it's freaking vertical. I could make it up there, but it's gonna be hard work. Luckily, I've just spotted a path going here, and that's probably going to use the natural curvature of the mountain to get up a bit more easier, so I'm going to make a break for that. Aye, that's a bit more gradual up to the summit, but I'm going to have a sit down here for 10 minutes and take this view in. Right, so we're 2 hours into the walk. 1,500 feet of ascent, 3.5 miles. We're just approaching our third fell just up here, but couldn't resist this viewpoint. You know, it's you got to take these in. Walking with the fell nomads, you got to slow down, and that's what they've learned me, and I appreciate what they've taught me there. Really, I used to just go around, hit the summit, move on to the next. You don't have to be on the summit, just find a nice viewpoint. You're probably the only person who's been there this year, you know, and boil up a brew. So I'm just sitting here watching all the people congregate in Walla Crag. That's what I like about these Burketts and Singe fells. They don't know you're over here, and if they do see you, they're like, what's he on over there? You know, just I don't know why it makes me feel special, but it does. Little wins, you know. Aye, this is the crag that I always see. This is the 591 down here. I use it at least once a week, generally. But you always look up here and think, oh, how do you get up there? And there's no parking that I've found down here for a route up this way, if you know what I mean. So yeah, I've kind of forged it into this central loop here. It's quite a nice walk so far. Not boggy so far. I know it's going to get bad between Bleaberry Fell and High Seat, but yeah, I'm all right to this point. Anyway, I'm just going to chill here for another 10 minutes. No, sorry, 20 minutes. Saturday. Wolves are playing later. I don't have any high hopes for them against Sunderland, so I've got now to get back for. But anyway, cheers. Well, here we are just off the summit of Dodd Crag. Nothing spectacular, the summit, but the crag itself to look at is quite good, and that viewpoint I found just off the end there overlooking the road there is wonderful. But here is Bleaberry Fell, the next port of call. You don't get to see it from this side very often because the main path is on yon side of it there. So yeah, that's another reason to come and do these outlying fells, because yeah, see things from different perspectives, and it's wonderful. So there is Bleaberry Fell, and what I think is the southeast top that I need. Now, when you're picking up these fells, all the decisions you make are yours, and you've got to live by them. There's nothing that's going to help you up here. There's no paths. You've got to use some logic. So what I'm thinking is making a beeline just directly over there to the main path, and I'll know the route from there. I'm 50% sure that's the southeast top, but it could be the one behind it. So if I go over there, that might just be wasted time for me and an ascent. So yeah, I'm going to stick to what I've plotted and just head for the main path. There's sort of a hole in the wall down here, and I can just make a beeline across the moor there, and I'll feel safer doing that. But you do you. If you want to go this way, check the map, check the contours. I can't remember what the contours were like here, but it is looking a bit craggy and a bit too off-piste. So let's get back on a path. So it's a little bit of bushwhacking, but it's fairly level. Like I say, just working our way up to this natural shoulder up the mountain via the main path. Good job it hasn't rained much lately. My trousers would be soaking. This is all fairly dry. Quite hard work, but yeah, knee ups and downs. Nearly there. That's looking back at Dodd Crag and the Pike and Walla Crag. If I was doing those two singes just to pick them up, I'd do them as an out and back, because it's quite tough. Sadly today I'm combining them with my second Wainwright round, so this is a bit overkill really. This is another one of them places I never thought I'd be 4 years ago. Just sitting in a field of heather. Oh well, you have to laugh sometimes. Don't copy this. This is bloody hard work. Nearly on the main path now. Oh, it's done. Oh. I'm just trying to make a shortcut. Right, I bastard. Oh. This is good to hold on to. Bit of grip, Thankfully we're back on the path now. That was a bit of a surprise there. I just forced my way up this bank of heather here. Absolutely knackered as a shattered, and a gentleman just off Bleaberry Fell summit here recognised me. Thanks Clark from Prudhoe, I think it was. Heart surgery he had just recently. Bloody hell, still up the fell, so good on you lad, keep them going. But aye, pretty much a path now for the rest of the loop from here. Just have to top out on Bleaberry Fell. But I cannot stress enough, do not copy that route that I've done. That's just killed my legs walking through that heather. I've kind of just scrambled up the bank. It's quite safe. If I fell, I'd be landing on cushiony heather. There's a lot of it, but I'm going to get cramp in the back of my legs driving home later. We'll take it. Bleaberry Fell. Right, here we are on the summit of Bleaberry Fell, the second Wainwright of the day. The next Wainwright is High Seat, which is just over yonder there, but first we've got one more new singe to pick up, and that's Bleaberry Fell's southeast top, which is going to be this mound over here. I believe it's pathless once again, as I've been told by Mary yesterday, but yeah, just a quick out and back to that, and then it's through the bogs bogs of doom to high seat, but it's on a path, so I'll take that. Right, so yeah, that's looking back down at Dodd Crag, and if you are wanting to do that, seriously, just do it as an out and back. There's no value in turning this into a loop walk. That's just really rough ground down there, but yeah, the hard work is over, I think, really, because here's, like I say, the Bleaberry Fell southeast top. Just going to do a quick out and back to that. Won't take too long, I don't think. Okay, so I wasn't expecting much of a path. I've been proved right. There isn't one, because the singe I need is over here. It's as if nobody cares about them, eh? Right, let's go over. Look, other singe baggers, not many of them. There's a little one here. Neat style though, wasn't expecting one. But I am now slim enough to fit through this little gap here. I don't know about the muscles on my arms. I might bend the wire a little bit, but this is the way we go. Oh bloody hell, this is something you don't see very often. Oh dear, looks like a gravestone. Must be a fallen singe bagger. One too many maybe. Right, here we are. It's a long bloody way from Bleaberry Fell. There's Bleaberry Fell. This is the new singe of the southeast top. I'll take it. Boom. Right. Yanmar Fell. High seat just over yonder there. Some people add Raven Crag onto this loop. I think that's a bit mental. It means you'd have to come down here from Bleaberry Fell all the way out there just to come all the way back up here. Just pick Raven Crag up as a solo. Oh, there's another deer there. Yonder. Right, so that's looking back at Bleaberry Fell's far east top. We've just cut across here. I think this must be like the southerly top of the fell. But anyway, there's high seat just up there. So I'm just going to take this opportunity to have a bit of a cup of tea here and then chill out. I like doing that on these random fells because I'll probably never get to do it again. I did have some nice steak and gravy pies for lunch, but I've gone and left them in the bloody car, haven't I? Oh well, tea will have to suffice. Right, so we're just heading back to the main path now from the little out and back. At least the sun's coming out now. Well, that was unexpected, but I'll take it. Oh. Seems like I've stumbled on a sneaky little path here that seems to be bypassing the bog. Shh, don't tell anybody. The main path's just over there. Keep this one secret. For singe baggers only. Well, there's High Seat Summit. It's certainly cut through the worst of the bog actually on that main path. So from the southeast summit, just follow this fence. It's wonderful. Actually looks like a few people know about it, but not everybody. Well, this looks more of a solid good path now. Maybe they have finished it and there's no need to bypass the bog anymore. Oh well, that's looking back at Bleaberry Fell over there. And yeah, just below High Seat. So let's finish this off. Just a small little scramble here just before topping out. It's all well placed stairs, so I don't think you'd have a problem. And there it is, the trig point. Here we are just on the summit of High Street, the trig point. I think that might be the actual high point, the little cairn on the rocks over there, but we've done that before, there's no need today. And this is the path back down to Ashness Bridge. You could continue and head on High Street, which is a nice well pitched path now, but I'm going to leave that for today. And so we've just left the summit of High Seat, and this is another new path for me. just sitting up there trying to identify these fells. It's quite difficult. Like I say, it's only my second time up there, and don't see them from these angles very often. But anyway, it's good walking on new paths, expanding your library. Walking off piste, it makes you nervous, you know. It does wear off. I don't think anything of it now, really. It's just if there's a way I can get to a fell, then I'll use it, you know. But yeah, nothing like walking on an actual path. Give your calves a rest. So the path down here is pretty decent. It's actually been good the whole way around if you just stick to the Wainwrights. So yeah, 6 fells today, 3 new ones for me. They're not fells that are going to blow you away, the central fells, but it's nice to visit them every couple of years, connect with the bog, you know. It's one I'd recommend if you are starting out, because it's nice, a short loop if you stick to the paths, and I don't think you'll find too much issue with them. So yeah, we're just heading back down to Ashness Bridge, and I thought I'd sign off the adventure from here. Thank you for watching, I appreciate it. Take care of yourselves, and I'll see you back out on these fells very, very soon. Peace.